We'll move right along to, I think, probably the next most interesting game of the weekend. West Ham visit Anfield.
Ooh, that's gonna be a game.
I'm
Man,
pretty
that's
sure.
gonna be a game.
I'm pretty sure that's at Anfield.
It's at Anfield. It is.
Yeah,
It's
it's
at
in
Anfield.
Liverpool.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Even though
a fun game.
it's at the same time as the Arsenal Spurs game.
There's like 4 games at 9 o'clock on Sunday.
Yep. They look like good fixtures too.
Should be fun. I think that this is going to be a really interesting one because Liverpool have not really shown that they can break down the low blocks. I don't know. I think it's probably going to be Salah and Diaz. Jota didn't play at all in the Europa League. But Liverpool started out really slow once again. Had a crap first half once again. It's like 3-4 games running. They've been bad in the first half. And if you recall West Ham's last game in Premier League, West Ham actually won their Europa League game. Also went down a goal to start out with. Came back and won. I think that they can punish mistakes. And so if Liverpool come out like they did against Wolves, I think West Ham have more goals than Wolves do at halftime.
Wow.
So I'm just saying it could be it could be like that. And my reflection, my pick kind of reflects that. I've said it's going to be 3-2 Liverpool.
Wow.
I think they're going to struggle. I think West Ham will be good in the beginning. They'll get their goals. Klopp will give the hairdryer treatment. I think it'll be kind of how it's gone. He'll make a couple of tweaks, couple of changes, and they'll be able to come back out and figure it out.
I went 2-1. I think it's going to be 1-1 at half. I think West Ham go up early. Liverpool equalize. Come out second half with the changes. Get the winner at Anfield. 2-1. Yeah.
I got 3-1 Liverpool, and I'm thinking the opposite. I think Liverpool goes up 1-0, and in the second half it gets tied, and then Salah does Salah things in the second half.
Yeah. Salah's gonna have a good season, man. Did y'all see the purple jersey? Did y'all watch Liverpool's highlights versus some random? Their purple third kit is pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Over the last couple of years.
Yeah. I do have to say that Darwin Nunez looks like a pirate these days. Yeah. It's great with his ponytail and everything and his mustache.
Again, if you want to – oh, man, that's the one that makes me upset.
He did – I mean, he got a score from the penalty spot, smashed in a nice penalty today.
Yep. It just – again, 55 mil, and we could have a striker. Like, it just makes no sense, man. It just makes – I'm so done.
Yeah, I mean –
it might be because that striker wouldn't sign an 8-year deal.
That was before. We lost the Nunez before.
Oh, goodness grief. Yeah.
We should have got Noodles when we had Tuchel. Yeah.
Is Trent going to be back in this game? I think when Trent's missing from Liverpool, I think that they can struggle.
Well, yeah, they actually have to use their midfield when Trent's not. Yeah.
I think this will be an interesting game, man. I think West Ham have a shot.
Is Konate still out?
I think Konate's back in.
Oh, okay.
They only had 2 injuries.
I think Konate will be back in.
Disney and Konate are back. That bolsters their defense a lot. Oh, man. I go 2-0, actually. I'm going to go 2-0 to Liverpool.
I got 3-1 to Pool.
I'll go 2-0 to Pool. I'll change mine if Konate's back in.
I don't know, man.
How are West Ham going to score? They're huge.
James Ward-Prowse free kick.
This is true. James Ward-Prowse free kick. And they will give up a free kick because they are huge. So, yes.
And they're good West Ham is good on set pieces, too.
And counters.
Yeah.
Antonio is huge. He's a big dude. So, yeah, I think West Ham have a shot at this one.
That's a good game.
I'm having my fingers crossed. That Anfield factor is no joke. So, You never know. But West Ham are doing. They're surprising people this season. So they might be able to pull that one out. Yeah. Let's see. We'll take a look at some of these other games. We'll look at the other Champions League team. Newcastle get the draw versus AC Milan in an absolute hard-fought battle of a game. Yeah, I mean it's typical Newcastle. Issue your sword and shield at the door when you walk in.
I felt like they did not deserve a draw from watching this game. I felt like Milan had more on them more often.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great Champions League. Like, welcome to the Champions
Oh
League.
yeah,
A great way to open it. They had
fantastic Champions League night.
a game.
Absolutely. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed, 0-0. It's one of those 0-0s where if you're not really a fan of the game, it's like, man, that was boring. But the way I watch games with a tactical eye and just to see the fight, I thought this was a fantastic match.
Dog fight.
Absolutely fantastic. Newcastle kind of held on a bit, but to get a draw at the San Siro.
Pope standing on his head. Pope should have got man of the match. Pope easily should have got man of the match.
Well, and that's good because we all thought that they would get smacked, and I think because of the result that Milan had as well, I think it lent itself to Newcastle saying, "Hey, we can go in here." And I mean the mantra, get a draw on the road, win at home, and they did what they were supposed to do on the road.
Yeah, I thought that going into this group, I'm like, man, Newcastle is gonna finish bottom. But after that performance at the San Siro,
welcome to the Europa League.
I mean, I don't know. It's still up. That group's still up in the air. Paris looked mean. Paris looked a lot better than they did last season in the Champions League. I'll tell you that. They created a ton of chances versus Dortmund, and Dortmund weren't no slouches either. That PSG Dortmund game was good. That was a good game. So yeah, Newcastle got a real tough road, but I think that this result in Europe is going to be an issue.
Bad for Sheffield, yeah.
There might be a bit of a hangover, And Sheffield at Sheffield, I think this game will suit them. Sheffield really are up for the physical battle. They've outlasted. Or they've nearly outlasted both City and Spurs as far as how the game went. They were able to keep City at bay for 93 minutes, 92 minutes, or something like that.
At bay for 88 or whatever.
Yeah, yep. So a tired Newcastle, whom they know that the game is going to be a physical dogfight. I think Sheffield might be able to do something here. I've gone for 1-1.
Oh wow, I went 0-1, but okay.
You went 0-1 to Newcastle?
I did, yeah, to Newcastle.
Yeah,
I got 3-1 to Newcastle, but I'm looking at some stuff. This is before I had my 3-1. Apparently, Sheffield haven't won a match in 7 attempts and haven't won at home in their last 6 matches. That kind of matters. I'm going to Newcastle 3-1.
3-1. Yeah, I think that European hangovers are a real thing.
Yeah.
Newcastle gave absolutely everything in Italy
to
get that draw.
It was such a good game.
It was.
That was a good game.
I think there's going to be a hangover, man. I really do. And I think that everybody struggles against low blocks. It just is what it is. And Sheffield are low block FC. Like only Everton are more negative as far as the way they play. And McBurney being an outlet ball, he's going to battle with I always get Veltman and Botman mixed up. I think Veltman is Brighton and Botman is Newcastle. So yeah, that battle with McBurney up top is going to be interesting, and I think, like most Newcastle games, it's going to be won in the second ball battle. Yeah. If Sheffield don't ever win a second ball and don't ever have any possession, it could be bad.
Yep.
It could be Lewis's 3-1.
Yeah.
But if they can win a couple of second balls and, kind of sustain some possession and alleviate a little bit of pressure in that way, I think they can have success.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they mirror the game, if Sheffield come out, mirror the game that they had against Spurs, again, one of those ones where I don't think the scoreline really adjusted or really gave the honest opinion of the game.
Well, Spurs had 30 shots or something like that.
Right,
So, I mean, they peppered them, and the City game was the same thing, and that's how Sheffield games are going to go, right? But Newcastle just aren't
right.
They
Newcastle
haven't been prolific this season. They
Right.
haven't been. They scored 5 versus Villa, and I don't think they've scored more than, I don't know if they've scored twice
They
again.
haven't found their scoring boots like they had last season, which is what I was getting to. Is that like if Sheffield can put on this defensive showcase and Newcastle come out the way Newcastle have with their 1 or 2 goals a game, while they do have the physical in them, while they do have that midfield, that type of second ball game in them, like I think Sheffield can, if they're going to stave off of team and play that type of game, Newcastle's one they can do it too.
Yeah, I definitely think that's how the game's going to go. And yeah, that's why I've gone for a 1-1.
I can definitely see that.
Speaking of European nights, Brighton, what happened?
Lights were too bright, man.
Oh, man. They played Athens. AEK Athens. AEK Athens is the name of that team. And, they play risky. They play risky ball. And
nice. It's all or none with Brighton. Every game, all or none.
They got punished 3 times. They lost 3-2. They gave up 3 goals at home.
Yep.
I'm not sure De Zerbi knew what to expect,
No.
From Athens, and they took full advantage of their opportunities, and Brighton are going to give you, if you want to play with Brighton, they'll give you the opportunities. And, Athens were clinical, definitely took their opportunity, definitely took the chances. But Brighton had all the ball in the game, like you figured they would. But I think that Brighton, even more so than West Ham, though, or Aston Villa, though, are the team that comes back with a vengeance. You remember when Everton smashed them at the Amex 5-1? You remember what De Zerbi said after that? Do you remember what happened in the next game?
I remember what happened. What did Zerbi say?
De Zerbi said, "You will see the real Brighton at the weekend."
Yeah.
And you know what they did, don't you? You remember what they did, don't you? They came to the Emirates and won 3-0.
4. Oh yeah, 3.
So they got Bournemouth at home this time.
Oh, they're winning that.
4-0.
4-0.
I've gone 4-0 to Brighton.
I'll go 2-0.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
3-0.
I'll go 2-0. We'll make it interesting. Yeah, we'll go 3. We'll go 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
It's going to be a bloodbath. Bournemouth at home, I have respect for. I'll give them a goal at home, but away to Brighton, who are pissed off. A pissed off Brighton. Yo, it's coming. It's coming, and it's going to come in waves and bunches, and it's going to be an avalanche. And yeah, I think Brighton are going to be way too much for Bournemouth. Again, if Bournemouth cannot win a second ball in this game, they're done for.
Yep.
They're done for.
Yep.
If they don't manage to sustain any possession by winning second balls, that's going to be, again, the key to Bournemouth is being able to get at least a little bit of possession at times, because they like to play, they like to be open, so this should be an open game. But if they can't get any of the ball, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad for them, dude. That's why that's why I think Brighton are just going to absolutely wreck them. You could talk about it. I've talked about the European hangover, but I think it's going to go even further for Brighton because they're just mad. They're going to be like, we did not expect Athens to come in here and not even be afraid of us at all, not even worry about us at all, and hit us. Exactly. And hit us on the break and get out and run out winners. Athens are top of that group. You know that Ajax and Marseille is the other part of that group.
Man, that's going to be. Oh yeah, you did say that was a
Brighton have to go to France next. They go to Marseille at the Stade Velodrome next.
Who?
It could be bad. Marseille. Don't who to Marseille.
who to
They're a
Marseille.
Champions League team, bro.
Don't who to Marseille. That's a Champions League squad.
That's a Champions League
Oh,
squad.
that's what I mean. Who?
Oh.
Marseille.
They have work, man. They got work to do when they go there.
Yeah, they do.
This isn't what's the Memphis it's not Memphis.
Dude, there's like 5 former Arsenal players at Marseille. It's like a
Barcelona players there too.
It's an Arsenal light. I think Alexis Sanchez is there.
The legend of Chelsea is from Marseille.
Yeah,
Who's that?
Drogba.
Oh, he's from Marseille. Yeah.
Or
He's Ivorian.
Well, no, he was made.
That's where he played. He played.
Right, he was made in Marseille.
Oh, he played for Marseille. Gotcha.
He came for us. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and then Ajax is the other team in that group. Ajax tied Marseille. So that's not a good group for Brighton.
It's funny. Brighton is going to be what I thought Newcastle would be. Where because I said I think Newcastle would finish the bottom. Brighton might be the one that
Brighton might not even make Conference League. Yeah, they might be going home because it's not going to be an easy one in Athens, especially with the confidence this will give that team for the return leg. But yeah, Bournemouth are in trouble.
Yeah, they're going to get smacked.
They're going to get slapped for sure.